I dabbled in a lot of things. And also, to your point, growing up in a small town, we didn't have the good drugs, right? We didn't have the like clean coke and all this. We just got whatever we could get our hands on. Who knows what I was putting in my body? So CPS was called. I was still drunk from the night before in Vegas. I rushed home, I was like calling this person and calling that person, like, can you pick her up? At that time, she was already like at the child services. Yeah. I had the bright idea that I can just go out and then see them the next day. I go out New Year's Eve and obviously blacked out, just terrible. And I woke up the next morning and I'm getting ready to like go do the visit. And I couldn't even look at myself. I was like so disgusted. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was in the hotel with this guy and I woke up. It was probably like 6 a.m. to him like screaming at me like, where the fuck is my chain? Bitch, wake up. Where the fuck is my chain? Oh. This man swore on everybody's life that I somehow stole his chain. He basically held me hostage and the whole entire day. And it got so bad that he held a gun at my vagina because he thought I put his chain in my vagina.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Maddie.
And this is
the Newport Psycho. I feel like I'm really excited about today. I'm excited about every day, but it's my girl Brandy.
She's too hot.
She's too hot. Beautiful inside and out. She can make you just as beautiful in your body. Okay, Brandy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So obviously my name's Brandy. I'm a mother, a business owner, an active member of sobriety, and just a girl's girl. To be honest.
Boss. Yeah, a boss. A boss, babe.
A babe boss.
Yeah,
boss,
to say the least. So Brandy,
yes.
Who or what is your psycho?
Well, definitely 1000% alcohol is my psycho. As we all know, many things can be our psycho, but that was definitely the one that changed my life for sure.
How did this all start? Give us a little bit of background.
So the background is I come from a very middle-class family, nothing out of the norm, no crazy childhood trauma. But from a really young age, I discovered alcohol. So I was 13 years old, and where I grew up, there was not a lot to do, right? So this friend of mine, she had very cool parents, and
the cool mom.
The cool mom.
The cool mom.
I'm just a cool mom. Do you need anything?
Yeah.
And sugar refreshments?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Yeah, sugar refreshments. What did she say?
Like condoms?
Condoms, yeah, what?
She was that mom.
She was that mom.
Oh my gosh.
And she got us, this is will age me, but the Boone's Farm.
Girl, I drink Boone's Farm. I drink it. The strawberry, the blue one. I drink them too.
Is that Four Loko?
See, she doesn't know what it is.
Okay, but maybe it's because we grew up. Where were you? Where are you from?
I'm from north of Seattle, but small town.
Okay,
kind of the boonies a little bit.
I was same here. I grew up in Oro Valley, Marana, Arizona. So my friends and I would drink Boone's Farm, the strawberry one.
The
I've
strawberry,
never even heard of this. Okay, guys.
The wine coolers.
The wine coolers.
Did you have wine coolers?
I had wine coolers. Okay.
Similar. So
Okay.
But it's fancier because it's in a wine bottle.
Yep.
And
Boone's Farm.
So anyways, we were bored. We got the Boone's Farm, and it was my first time drinking. And I just got hammered, and I loved the feeling. I realized from that day, I just loved anything that would numb me, right? So anything that would kind of just take the pressure off of me. And that was my first time drinking. And from there, it kind of transformed. I always had an older boyfriend. I was a party girl for sure, through and through. So on the weekends, I had an older boyfriend. We would party. I dabbled in a lot of things. And also, to your point, growing up in a small town, we didn't have the good drugs, right? We didn't have the like clean coke and all this. We just got whatever we could get our hands on.
We weren't in
And
Newport Beach.
yeah, we're not in Newport Beach.
No.
So who knows what I was putting in my body. But I mean, I tried acid. I tried like, I don't even know. We called it crank, but it was basically like dirty coke. It was like
Crank?
yellow. Yeah, it was
Crank.
like yellow coke. Who the fuck knows what it was?
Crank.
Yeah, that's what we called it.
Dang,
This
that's
was
crazy. Like
yeah.
yellow Coke?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck was in there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah.
We had shitty weed where I grew up. That's
No,
it.
we had shitty
I didn't
weed.
even know what cocaine was till I came to California. And like, I'm not even kidding
Yeah.
you. And like, I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what? People do what?
Yeah.
I remember in college, someone tried to like buy Coke at a party, and someone sold them like baby powder.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead.
I mean,
I'm
I probably
dead.
did some baby powder, like, to be honest with you. Who
I'm
the
like-
fuck
She's
knows?
like-
I don't know how I'm alive. We'll just say that.
Oh
like,
my
I have no idea
gosh.
how I'm alive. But it was just like back then, like normal partying, like, you know, high school, teenage partying. And it just kind of like over the years progressively got worse. And I got married and very young. I was like 21. Yeah, 21 when I got married. So I got married super young. And I kind of stopped everything. I got pregnant. I had my son. You know, I kind of, you know, obviously my ex-husband had a drinking problem. So sometimes when your parent or spouse or somebody else has the problem, it kind of like takes away from yours. So I went into mom mode and I was fine for a really long time. I say fine, like I was just like normal. We'll just say normal.
Okay.
I was normal for a long time. And then when we got a divorce, I got a really good job for an aesthetic device company. And they offered to move me to California. It was like my chance to like get in the beauty mecca and all that. And I
Give
was
you, like, a new
obviously
dream.
Yeah, a new dream, like start fresh, like get away from everything old that I knew, right? And so I moved to California and I was living in LA, which is very bad for someone like me because everything is at your access and everyone parties.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
you know, I was single and I was just like a kid in a candy store. You're getting invited to like, you know, whatever celebrities party and all these events and whatever. So that kind of like started up my partying again. Fast forward to like 2012 and 2014, I got 2 DUIs. I don't know how that didn't wake me up, but it didn't.
Like kind of like back to back.
2012 and 2014.
Oh,
Yeah. So 2 DUIs.
Dang.
And, you know, you have to do all these things to
Of
like,
course.
I had to have a blow and go on my car. I had to like, go to all these classes. But
Blow
this is how like lost my brain was. Like I got a like, I don't want to say beater, but like just a whatever car for the blow and go so that I could still drive my real car.
Oh, wow.
But, like,
So you like finessed.
like
you
I
finessed
knew
the
how to
system.
like manipulate
yeah, you're
everything.
like, it's not a problem. I just need 2 cars. It's fine.
I'm gonna get my beater blow and go, and then I'm gonna have my
yeah,
my
I'll
nice
pick you
one.
up later in my
Yeah,
real car.
In my real
What?
car. This we got to do right now. So yeah, I mean, I won't say I wasn't like drinking and driving at the time, but like it's embarrassing to have a blow and go in your car, especially when you're like, you know, you got your newer friends.
Yeah,
like,
and
newer,
not only that,
like,
but you're single. You're like
single,
trying
yeah.
to, like, you don't want to be like, hold on, guys.
Hold
you
on,
know?
guys.
Like it's a single trying to mingle. You're like, one second.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be there in a sec. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's hard.
I even like obviously my kids were young. I made up some crazy story of why I had it. It was like I had some special car that like you have to like do this to get it to start.
You have to. It's a blow to start.
Yeah. Like only special people have it, you know, like,
Yeah,
My
like-
friends are like, "That's so cool, Brandy."
yeah. So, yeah,
The
point
innocence.
being that like I just manipulated everything and everything in my life, right? Like
You
I
put a
just-
Band-Aid
I
on
put a
everything.
Band-Aid
yeah,
on
you're like, there's an
everything.
open wound, Band-Aid it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So basically, you know, that was like 2012, 2014. And then fast forward, I got laid off from a job because as we know in aesthetic companies, some companies make it, some do not. So I got laid off and that kind of like progressed the drinking as like, was stressed. I'm now in LA where it's much more expensive than Seattle. And I have, the time my daughter's with me, I had a child to like take care of and just all the stress, right? So the partying kind of like continued, and I was still like single through this time. And then I guess I would say my breaking point, mind you, a lot of little things have happened, in this time. It's not like it was just nothing happened, but my breaking point was in 2018. I was actually living down here. I had been dating someone. I went to see them in Vegas. And I left my daughter with a friend, and I, thought she was fine. This was like on a weekend, whatever. And my kid's dad and I never had a good relationship. So it was always combative, right? But little did I know that he was kind of waiting for me to fuck up.
Like monitoring you.
Yeah, he was like, it's like those people that just like they're watching every
little move.
Just waiting for that one little glimpse.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was, visiting someone in Vegas, and I thought everything was fine. She, made a call to me, and like, she didn't like, she felt more comfortable at home. She's always been like really independent and self-sufficient, but she was only 11 at the time. So I knew better, but me not being in the right headspace at this time period, she wanted to stay home. I let her stay home. Biggest regret of my life. Well, I could say biggest regret, but now in retrospect, like,
biggest blessing.
So glad that it happened. And the next morning when my kid's father found out she was home, he called CPS. So CPS was called. I was still drunk from the night before in Vegas, like hadn't even gone to sleep yet, like just, a wreck. And I rushed home, like thinking, again, I can put a Band-Aid on it. I was like calling this person and calling that person, like, can you pick her up? By that time, she was already like at the, I can't remember what it's called, but the place they take kids while they're waiting for.
Like the intake?
Like child services?
Yeah, child services. Yeah, exactly. And he flew down from California or from Washington. And from there, it was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, okay. And so how it works is they set up a court date. You go to court. They give you kind of this like program to do where you're like peeing in a test or peeing in a cup and doing all these things to like see your child, right? So most people would at that point be like, I need to get my shit together. But I still, I tried to do it for my kids. And that was October till January. So October till January, like I was trying to do it for them. Like, I need to get them back. I need to like do whatever I need to like have my kids again, right? That was my main focus, was like for them. And I was doing okay, but then I like slipped up, and it was kind of a lot of back and forth. I had some like P-test fail and things like that, right?
Did you ever get knocked for that? Like if they had?
Oh yeah, like I would not get visitations and yeah. And mind you, like understandably so, my kids aren't talking to me, like
at that time.
Yeah. So, this was like my final moment. I was going up to Seattle to do a visitation on New Year's Day. So it's New Year's Eve. And I had the bright idea that I can just go out and then see them the next day, because I was still just so not there, I go out New Year's Eve and obviously blacked out, just terrible. And I woke up the next morning and I'm getting ready to like go do the visit. And I couldn't even look at myself. I was like so disgusted. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like
you're staring at yourself.
It's just staring at myself. And from that moment, I was like, this has to stop. And it was something that came from within, and it wasn't about anyone else. I guess, that's like my biggest point of it, is that it was about me. Like I was ready, At
that point, you weren't doing it for your kids, for your family.
Yeah.
It was like, I need to do this for myself.
And I'm like, this is not who I am.
Yeah.
Like at my core, like this is like the time over and over again of what drugs and alcohol do to you, you know?
It was like an out-of-body experience.
It was an out-of-body experience, exactly. So
do you feel like, well, did you have any sort of, I know you said you didn't really suffer from any like childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Did any of your family members have any alcoholism in the family?
So, I mean, I had like normal little stuff. Like I'm not that close to I wasn't that close to my father growing up.
Okay.
I always felt like I needed to seek validation from boyfriends and things like that. I feel like a lot of girls can relate to that, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So nothing like crazy. My parents were not alcoholics or they never did drugs or anything, but my both my grandparents had abused alcohol. And when I was born, my mom gave an ultimatum like, you're not going to have this around my grandchild. And they quit cold turkey. Because I think in those days that was normal. You could just quit cold turkey. You didn't really need to like seek inward and like find out like the reason and all that. They just like stopped and like I never saw them pick it up again till they were closer to passing and all that. So yes, it was definitely on both sides of my family.
How did like alcoholism affect like your social life, like your relationships, your friendships, like when you were drinking? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how did it affect like your everyday like relationships?
Yeah. So it's funny because I've definitely gotten fights with like boyfriends when I was drinking and stuff. But my friends would more be like, oh, like you were doing this last night or whatever. But I was like a fun drunk. Like I wasn't like fighting. I wasn't like mean. Like I was a good time.
Yeah.
You know,
like when you got drunk, it wasn't like you ended like 5 friendships at that time.
No, and that's
like,
what's crazy.
Yeah, that's a different
100%.
types.
The fun ones.
Yeah.
How would you say? Because
there's
fun.
Like the fun, the angry, the emotional, the ones that just start crying and all that. I was definitely the fun one, but I was the one that like never wanted the night to end. Like we go out to dinner, then I'm like, where are we going next? Then we're going to afters. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
your friends like, Brandy, we're tired. We're tired, Brandy. She's like,
Energizer Bunny.
She's like, I don't care. We're gonna keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, I would do stupid shit or like whatever that maybe was kind of embarrassing to my girlfriends, but I wasn't like fighting with them or like crying or I was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm the girl that's going to get us in
VIP.
Yeah. You're welcome. So, I mean, of course you were a good time because you're a good time now. You're good. I can't imagine you drunk because you're a good time sober. Like you're literally the best time.
I would just be like dancing on the table.
You're just so
and, like,
fun.
I love that.
But okay, so tell me your wildest story.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, this wasn't a fun story. I have a wild story that's absolutely not fun. So this one time, one of my girlfriends was dating a guy, or not dating, but she was like talking to a guy. And
is this in LA?
Yes.
Okay.
This is in LA. And he invited her out, and she had asked me to go with her. And we went out. I don't even remember. I think we went to a club. Who knows? Because I was probably drunk. But we went out. And then at the end of the night, one of his friends was like trying to talk to me. And then this was obviously in my like just having fun phase. And we ended up like hooking up. And we're at a hotel because they were visiting from out of town. And they were, doing their thing. I was in the hotel with this guy. And I woke up, it was probably like 6 a.m. to him like screaming at me like, where the fuck is my chain? Bitch, wake up. Where the fuck is my chain? And I'm like, what is happening? I'm like trying to like come to. Yeah.
You're like, what chain?
I'm like, oh my God. Like,
you're like, is this a dream?
Yeah.
Wait, and you're just like, you're still in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Like with him.
With him. Literally with him. And this man swore on everybody's life that I somehow stole his chain. I don't know how much it was worth. I don't even remember what it looked like. Like
you didn't even know he was wearing a chain.
I didn't even know he was wearing a chain.
You don't even know what hotel we're in right now.
Literally.
I'm thinking like, what the heck?
Well, he basically held me hostage and the whole entire day.
Where's your girlfriend?
She's in the room with her guy. And like he took my phone. He took all my stuff. So I couldn't like text her or call her at the time.
Oh my God.
He's literally holding you hostage.
He's literally holding me hostage. And it got so bad that he held a gun at my vagina because he thought I put his chain in my vagina. Like,
what the heck?
I'm not making this up.
Wrong with people? Like,
and
I can't even. Like, I don't even know what to do. I'd probably cry,
this will show you like the type of people. So,
oh my gosh.
he obviously checked around.
What type of people?
So he's literally, wait, I'm sorry. He's literally holding a gun to you.
And,
yeah.
Like,
and literally searching you.
My vagina.
With the gun.
Yeah. He thought that was option one. Or he thought that I took it in the middle of the night, passed it someone out the hotel room, and they took off with it. Like, yeah. So.
What did this chain look like?
Moly.
I don't even remember.
Like,
that's how crazy.
like,
but
this chain better have been worth like freaking $1 million.
So I'm like bawling because he's like, I'm going to come for your family. He had my ID, which has my home address.
Oh my God.
And knew that I had kids and the whole thing. And so I'm like, and I usually do really good under pressure in situations, but obviously
you
I've been
really
partying.
do. You hold yourself so well. I'm like, good Lord.
But I had been partying the night before, so I'm like trying to.
You're vulnerable.
I'm vulnerable. So finally he lets my girl and her guy come to the room, and like I'm talking to her. I'm like, I have no idea. Like I'm telling her, like, I really don't know what the fuck happened. I tell him, like, we're in a hotel. They have cameras. Like, go ask him to pull the cameras.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as easy to do, apparently. So.
And what hotel was this? Like, was it like
something
nice?
in Beverly Hills? It was a nice hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that much. It was a nice hotel, but I don't know if you have to get like some kind of release form.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's not like,
or,
like for instance, like if we've ever had anything like stolen or whatever. Like, remember
like
I got my car broken into. It's like
Yeah.
you have to like go through like all these hoops to get like the camera footage.
What did the girls guy, like your friend's guy, say? Like, what?
He was trying to like calm him down.
So this was his friend?
Yeah. And so this went on like kind of all day, right? And I'm just
Like,
like
what time is it at this point?
like it's definitely afternoon by now. Like this was going on. Like I was roughed up. Like he was
Oh my God.
manhandling me
Oh
for
my
sure.
God.
Oh
Yeah. So this went on all day. But you know when you're in shock, you don't really like feel anything.
no,
you know?
you're just like, please, like I'm not. Wow, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. So this went on all day. Finally, he lets me go. But is like, when I get the cameras, if I find out it was you, I'm gonna come for you and your family. Like da 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 da. He's a professional athlete's friend. So
A professional athlete's friend?
yeah. So
It's always the friend.
yeah.
That's
The friend they keep around that
friend they
like
keep
if
around.
They probably
need some
shouldn't
goons,
keep around.
Yeah.
My Lord. Okay.
Is he like from, like, where's he from? Like,
the South.
okay.
Yeah. So a few days go by or whatever, and then my friend, and because you know I'm like I could like really go public with this because they're obviously they're in the public eye, right?
Yeah.
So
Like he's like a
If I was a
athlete,
friend
like
of him, I'd be like, dude,
Yeah.
I'll buy you a new chain. Let it go.
Are we talking like we're talking like A-list celeb professional athlete
yes,
friend? Okay,
yeah,
got it.
So, obviously I won't say names,
Of course.
but
No, of course.
because of that, like I could have really went public with it. I could have like made it a whole thing, but he called my friend and basically offered to like pay me off.
Did they find the camera footage?
I guess he found out it was actually one of their homeboys that when we were checking in got the second key to the room. So obviously not his friend, but somebody that ran with him in their circle and got the key and came in the middle of the night and actually stole it. Yeah.
So they like literally saw him on the footage, like come in the room. Oh my!
I know.
And he's thinking it's
And
you,
he's
and it's
searching
somebody
you
in
with
his freaking
Yeah.
friend group.
So I think a little bit of guilt came in. And
Of
like,
course, because he's like, oh my gosh, this poor girl. It was one of our friends that
Yeah.
literally like went behind our back, and we're accusing her.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yeah. So obviously, most people would be like, fuck that. I'm not taking the money. I'm going to like blow this shit up. But because he knew my address, I didn't want to fear for my life all
And
the
he
time.
threatened your
And he
family.
threatened my family. So I took the measly little whatever he offered me.
Little hush
And
money? What do you mean measly? This
I
better
mean-
be like a lot of money.
it should have been a lot more. We'll say that. But coming out of that traumatic.
Coming from like an A-list celeb, like professional athlete, that should have been.
Yeah.
But she's just like more like, I don't even want to like be in this situation ever again.
Yeah. Like I want him to forget about me, forget who I am,
course.
forget everything. Like,
Brandy, did you drink after this?
of course.
Oh my
I
gosh.
have one question. Can I ask how much that he gave? Like that
It was not a lot. We'll just say it was not a lot.
Like given the situation, what was held to her.
It should have been hundreds of thousands and it was only thousands. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. It should have been a lot more. Again, if he didn't know my address and that I have children, it would have been a different scenario.
More than,
but like the fact that this happened, like in this one wasn't your breaking point. Like that's crazy.
I know.
I shouldn't say crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just like,
yeah.
The gun doing this is like,
yeah. You would think that would have been like, I probably didn't go out for like a month and then I was just right back at it, you know? Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have never have thought like you like went through anything like that.
I know.
That is a crazy.
Orange County has changed me.
Yeah.
Newport has changed
like,
me.
Usually it changes people for the worse, but for you, for the better.
Me, I'm like, I like this little bubble.
Well, obviously you've had some really bad dating, but now like you're sober.
Yeah.
How has dating sober been? Like challenges or like just dating in sobriety?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because when you get sober, you do a lot of internal work. So not only did I went to treatment, I lived in a sober living, which was like on bunk beds and like not cute. And I did the rough stuff.
Okay.
And on day 2 of being sober, I went to a meeting. I already had a sponsor. She took me to dinner. I was sitting across from a guy. We had a big table of people. And I met this guy and he was just like, everybody in AA gives you their number, right? They're like, call me if you need to talk or whatever. Like everybody's so friendly. And he gave me his number. And so we became friends and he would literally, because obviously I wasn't like, I couldn't eat. I was so depressed. Like it was rough. And he was like my little like food husband. Like he would like pick me up, make sure I ate every day, you know, like look out for me, bring me to meetings. He was just literally like my angel. And after some time in sobriety, we ended up dating. And he was my soulmate, love of my life. And then fast forward to 2021, so about 3 years later, he ended up passing away. Which I won't get into that story to protect his family, but we'll just say that due to this disease, he passed away. So that's the rough part about dating people
with addiction.
And then a year after that, I met someone that was supposed to be for fun. And that turned into a 2-year toxic relationship. So this past year, I will say since October, I've had to I've healed so much in every other way, but it really opened my eyes to like, okay, why am I still attracting addicts? There's something in there with the trauma bond that I still like crave.
Yeah.
And I've had to like dig like deep into that because I've noticed through my whole life, I've always attracted alcoholics and addicts, like whether they're sober today or not sober today, somehow I'm still like attracting to them. There's something I like relate to with that.
Do you think it's because like you want to help them?
Yeah,
like it's
like
almost
now
empathy. I feel like it's
in
like
sobriety, yeah. Like
Yeah.
back before it was because I wanted to party and we had fun, you know? But now it's like I want to save them. And like
it's like you want to save.
Yeah.
It's like you're empathizing for them.
Yeah.
I want to take you out of
I
here.
want to take you, like there's a better life. And now I'm like, I really realized it in this last one because when we met, he was sober. And then that was a short time. It was a lot of on and off again with the sober thing. And I finally was like, no, I need to help myself. Like I need to stop trying to save someone or like show them that there's a better life, you know, because only you can save yourself. Right. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And I can't really say there's kind of good and bad with dating people that are sober, like me, recovery sober, because usually you have a lot of other things and you're dual diagnosis and like you have other mental things and all that. So I think in a perfect scenario would be finding someone that's a normal drinker, right? Like has a drink at dinner, what have you.
Kind of like controlled.
Like casual, like
casual,
very like
yeah.
very like random. It's like not every time you guys go out they have to have a drink, but like if it's like a special occasion or whatever, you can have a glass of wine, like not like consistently weekly. It's like
we call it normie, right? Like I'm sure you guys would be normie. Like
normies.
You're normies. Like you don't drink to get drunk. You just have a drink here or there, like whatever. Like the end game isn't like to get plastered, you know?
Yeah.
That's like a normal person.
What did recovery look like for you?
Oh, it was ugly.
Really?
Yeah. It was really ugly. I didn't hang out with anyone except for sober people for my first year. I lived and breathed AA. I was like at 4 to 5 meetings a week.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like intense for me. And that's not for everybody. Like some people, I always say like whatever your journey is that it's your journey. Like for me, I needed to like build the foundation of structure because I never had structure in my life. Like everything was like forever changing. So it built that foundation of like put God first, sobriety, and then everything else comes after, family, business, etc.
Yep.
So
you got to set that foundation.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So would you like go to your like 9 to 5, you'd work and then you'd go to a meeting every night?
And then I go to a meeting. Yeah.
How long are those meetings?
They're like an hour to 2 hours, depending on which one. Like there's speaker meetings or there's like women only meetings. Like I went to a lot of women's meetings because again, I'm a girl's girl and I just feel like we relate better.
You are good. You're a good girl's girl.
Yeah, but even now, that's why I said anything can be your psycho kind of, because even though I'm sober, like I still find myself off balance sometimes. Like now sometimes work's my psycho and I'm like becoming a workaholic. And something I learned from my my therapist that has helped me with that is when I went to her, she was like, what does your life look like? Like, what are your priorities? And at the time it was like kids and work and then kind of partying, like overlaid all that, right? And she was like, your life needs to be like 8 slices of pizza. Like you need to have 8 things that take up your life so that when one of those things is off, you don't feel like your whole life is like flipped upside down. Yeah. So
that's a good analogy.
I'm trying to think of myself with all my
it's so true though.
Because right now it's just like
work
and my animals.
Yeah, it's like 2 slices. So
you need to get 6 more slices, girl.
Get some slices. Get some slices up there.
Yeah.
Well, and then to that point, like you were saying, because like once we actually had somebody else on here that he was saying that like a lot of like recovering addicts become addicted to the gym.
100%.
Yeah, and it's because they have that addictive personality. It's if they're not addicted to one thing, not one substance, it might be something else.
Yeah.
And so like they'll like become over passionate about something, even though it's technically healthy. They're become addicted to it.
But you can become unhealthy with it.
Yes. Because like you can overexert yourself. You can obviously you can get into things in that industry too that are like toxic and not good for you.
Yeah.
And so I love that analogy because it's like you can't just go from alcohol to gym or like that can't be the whole pie.
Or sex addicts. Like a lot of recovery people become addicted to sex, you know? So it's all like addiction is all like a mind disease, right? So it really it's universal. Like that disease resonates in your brain. So you really have to be subconsciously like making an effort to keep things in balance, you know, or it's easy to do that.
Do you ever find it hard to like be sober now?
Not at
like,
all.
Like at like events, like parties. Like,
it kind of gave me the ick. Like when I see people drunk now, I'm like, I get the ick. Like if you guys know, I'm still fun. So
yeah, you are so fun. She stays out later than us.
She's more fun than drunk people.
I'm like, good Lord. She's like, we can go this. Oh, we went here and then here and then here. And I'm like, we went to dinner and I went home and I went to bed.
But yes, if I go to an event and I'm like, it's getting to that little point of the night where the alcohol's really sitting in and people start not acting like their normal self, I get the ick and I leave. So
Good for you.
It's never like I want to drink. Yeah.
So events, you're like the happy, fun, sober
Yeah.
that could like be dancing.
I just get tired a little earlier, you know. I'm not going to the after party.
Yeah, but then but then this babe is at the gym or working at 7 a.m. I'm like,
yeah.
She's like, I have an early client today, and I'm like, just Liz, sweet. She's like at the gym at 6, then she's like with her clients all day, gets off at 7, still goes out to dinner with her friends. I'm like, dang girl, you do
somewhere
it all.
I sleep somewhere in there.
Yeah. Is there like any other like benefits you've noticed in your life, like from not drinking?
I mean, my relationship with my kids, like.
Yeah, how is that? Like, obviously, I know how it is because you're an amazing mom.
You know them.
And given your story, like, and I'm not even just saying this, like, there is zero chance that I would have ever thought that you didn't have like a good relationship with your kids. They're your everything. Like, they're your best friends. Like, literally your best friends. Like, they adore you. You adore them. Like, you have such a good relationship with them that I would have never thought. Like, and this was only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
6 years ago. It
Seven. It's 2025.
January 1st was 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took a long time. But here's the deal. When I was going through all of that, like when I was at a sober living, going to AA, all that, I had a whole plan for visitations. So I had to fly up to Seattle 1 week in a month to see them. It started out with only like 8 hours a day. Then it grew to like 8 hours, I think, if I remember correctly, like 2 days. And then eventually, like in year 3, I had overnights. So it wasn't until year 4, so just a couple years ago, that I really got to have my daughter here and like have her like, you know, on weekends up there. So it took a long time and I was super consistent. I never missed a visit ever. And I think that's what it takes with anybody. Amazing. It's like being in a bad relationship. Like you have to like show and prove, right? And I was like committed to that. And it's kind of sad because, not sad, but I mean, it makes me sad to think about that if there's other mothers out there that go through what I went through. It's very expensive, you know. Not everybody would be able to do it.
To afford that, that's a lot.
Like that's like an easy thing for like women and men in that scenario.
In that scenario,
like almost like give up. Like the odds are against them.
At
that point,
and it's not even like meaning to like financially. They what are they supposed to do?
Yeah,
because I was paying child support, I was paying for visits. Still paying part of their educational, their medical, like everything, as I should, because I'm their mother. But like on the outside perspective, it's like not everybody in that position will be able to do that, and they're gonna like lose that chance of a relationship for their kids. So it's kind of a little thing about the system that like I would love to like help in that way, but yeah, to build my relationship with them, I just had to stay super consistent. And then over time, and my daughter and I went to therapy together and things like that. And, you know, I really just like took accountability. I think that's the biggest thing. I wasn't blaming anyone. I wasn't blaming my childhood or blaming my ex-husband or things like that would be easy to do. I was like fully like, I was a fuck up. I was not the mom you deserve. You deserve more than that. And like, I want to show and I want to prove.
Yeah.
So. I love that because honestly, I feel like that's the number one thing that people can't do is take accountability for their own actions.
100%.
Because instead people would rather like project and victimize themselves instead of saying, hey, I did wrong and I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Like, I need to fix this because this is my issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're innocent. It wasn't their fault, you know? So, and I'm sure, you know, as adults, things will come up and like, so it's constantly like, loving on and mending that relationship because I don't want them to have issues in their relationships in the future or any of that because of my wrongdoings, you know, or their fathers or whoever's.
No, absolutely.
I love you.
I know.
I love you.
She's like literally incredible.
Oh, like I love you guys.
No, just because of the fact that like she's able to take accountability because you see like a lot, like I've had friends that struggle with addiction. And you see them, they don't want to take accountability.
No, or they like blame it on like it's just
else.
Yeah, or like a different situation and all that, and like everybody's journey's different, and it's like, but yeah, but it is hard. Like it really is. Like, and I know that like I've had friends that have gotten like DUIs.
Yeah,
and that alone, it's like I think for this is not. I'm not on. Don't quote me on this, but like I think it's like about $10,000 every DUI or something like that you have to end up spending.
Whoa. Yeah.
And it's like that. I mean, that you have to pay that. You know what I'm saying? So you're paying this on top of like child support, on top of like
Everything
trying to do all these other things. And it's like AA is free, correct?
It's free, yeah. But sober living treatment is very expensive.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I know that people have been in rehab houses and things like that, and like it's like $30,000.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, what?
Yes.
No, I know that there's some like that are like crazy
It's even
high.
more. It's actually even more than that. Yeah.
Do they have
Some
ones
of
that
them.
like people like it's actually attainable? Because there's some
Okay,
people
so
that
there are
cannot
free
afford
ones.
that.
I for a long time volunteered at one that's a woman's house.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of like rules to get in, but there are free places out there.
They're just more
there's like different
limited.
levels, right? There's like free, there's like ones that take insurance, and then there's your I'm doing yoga and meditating
The
all day
bougie
bougie ones. So from what I've seen and just people I know, most of us truly get sober and stay sober going to the bottom, you know, because you're kind of forced to like deal with your shit. You know?
It's not
like the peace, love,
there's
granola
not rainbows
yoga.
and butterflies. It's
Not
like this
rainbows
is
and
what you this
butterflies.
is what you did. We need to
Yeah.
fix it because like you can't be like this can't be your life.
They're
Yeah.
probably holding you accountable.
100%.
places.
Yeah. I had to take P tests every day when I came back to the house. You know, I had a curfew, all those things.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them you don't have a phone for a month, and yeah, they're all different, but there is free, there's insurance, and then there's expensive.
So how many years now have you been sober? And is there like anything that you do to like celebrate your sobriety like annually?
Well, interesting, you know, it's New Year's Day is my sobriety birthday. So this past January 1st, I had 6 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
girl.
you.
That's an accomplishment itself. That's
Thanks, girl.
incredible, Brandy.
Thank you. The first year is the hardest for sure. I don't know, maybe because it's also New Year's Day, I just always am like home before midnight. I like to be home and like be really intentional with everything. And kind of look at like last year, like every year, you guys know I'm just like recently getting public with my sobriety.
Yeah.
So every year I have like new goals when it comes to that. And I feel like what keeps us sober is helping other people, whether you do it through AA or like I do more publicly. And that's just kind of my way of, it's not like I have a party, but I just kind of like reevaluate and like, okay, how this year can I like do my job to give back to others in recovery or others that are trying to recover.
I love that because you're giving back.
Yeah. And in a way you are having like a party, like it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's incredible.
Well, and what happens, and the reason it's so helpful is because what happens when people start getting a lot of time, they forget what it was like. And once you forget what it was like and you get too comfortable, that's when people start relapsing, you know? So it's important for me to like never forget that and like keep helping other people. So hopefully if there is anyone listening to the podcast and they want to chat, I'm the girl.
I was actually just about to say, so what advice would you give to like a recovering addict or someone that's potentially
Needs help.
struggling with addiction?
I would I would say, because for me, I always looked like, I don't know, I looked at alcoholics and addicts as like down on them, right? Like you think of somebody like behind a garbage can, which that can happen too, but you kind of think of like.
But it's true. You don't think of like the average, like, you don't think somebody like you.
Yeah.
I would have never thought, right? Or like, or a housewife or like a big CEO or like,
Some people
you know what
hide
I'm
it very
saying?
well.
Yeah. Like there could be, you can be on
any
every
kind of
different
level.
Yep. Any different level.
And the nice thing, and I know for me, AA worked because it's all walks of life, all different stories. That's why like you hear stories like this, for me, nothing surprises me because I've heard literally every crazy story there is out there.
Yeah.
So
you're like, try me.
It's like it seems intimidating, but once you walk in, the way they like welcome you and like just love on you and like help you, it's like it's the best thing. So I would just say my advice would be is at least go to a meeting, check it out, you know, see how you feel and go from there.
So if you had like a one-liner or something you could say or any thought that comes to your head, it can be a whole paragraph, I don't care.
Yeah.
about
Like,
your
mic drop it.
about your psycho, what would it be?
That is a good question, girl. I would say in life, sometimes your biggest psycho can also be your biggest blessing.
I love that. Because it's true. Like you even corrected yourself. You're like, that was like the biggest mistake, but also
Yeah.
Biggest blessing.
blessing in my life is like when you like got that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I would not have the relationships I have today with you guys or anyone, my kids, my family, if it wasn't for that rock bottom that I had, you know?
Oh,
That's beautiful.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Brandy, you're beautiful.
Amazing.
You're beautiful. No, you're beautiful.
No, you are.
She makes our bodies beautiful. Brandy,
Yeah.
tell us where our clients can find you. Not only you, but like your business. Like,
Yeah.
give us your handles, everything.
Okay. So for everything body sculpting, I mean, my clients will say I'm a therapist, but I'm not
It's
licensed.
true. She is.
Not licensed. And anything lymphatic, body sculpting, Rejuven8 with an 8 OC, and then personal Brandy.aesthetics. So if anybody is thinking about becoming sober or has questions or just wants to chat, I'm always happy to do that.
And she really is. She doesn't just say
Like,
that.
it's
Like
not
I
something that she
no,
just says.
she's
Yeah.
like an incredible human being. I love
Thank
you.
you guys.
Thank you so
I
much for
love you
coming on
guys.
here. This was amazing. You're the best.
So
And thank you
good.
so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's vulnerable.
It's not easy. So
Yeah.
It's
we
not
appreciate it.
easy,
And
but-
hopefully, like, even if this podcast makes a difference in one person's life, I
Yeah.
know it's worth it to you.
Yeah.
100%.
And I really hope people
That's all
can
it is.
see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
can come out of your darkness.
Yeah. 100%.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yay.
I love you guys.